Yeah, I mean, welcome to F1 26.
Remember how people reacted when Max Verstappen complained at the start of the season? Yeah, he received a lot of backlash for it from all over the F1 space. Now we're about 10 races later, and oh how the tables have turned. Max Verstappen is dealing with it, urging his team forward, but the very people who told him to shut up about it are crying now. Let's see who these people are, what they've said, and most importantly, what the reason is for their sudden change of hearts. I'm Wimbo. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. The driver in the thumbnail, George Russell, had a massive sweary rant to his team when he was shunted out of the race by his former teammate Lewis Hamilton. Now, Hamilton received a penalty for the mistake, which I agree with, because Hamilton was behind Russell and not in control of his car. Still, Russell was in that position after his engine didn't have the battery to give, so he didn't have the speed to compete with Verstappen and Antonelli up front. He was passed left, right and centre by 3 other cars when the incident happened. I usually don't have objections to drivers swearing. I swear all the time. People with a potty mouth are usually the most honest people out there. Trust me, it's science, bitch. However, in the case of George Russell, it's different. See, George Russell sat on his high horse during that little spell where the FIA was clamping down on driver swearing, and he criticised Max Verstappen for his radio rants because his 8-year-old nephew watches the races and it sets a bad example. Well, his rant wasn't televised, as the FOM hides anything negative about the batteries, but it was played on the German broadcast, and obviously people clipped it and shared it. Very naughty, George. After the race, in interviews, he was very careful with laying blame. He just wants to have the same car as Kimi Antonelli, he said. It's clear that he isn't as happy with the regulations as at the start of the season, but more about that later. Another highly regarded person in the F1 space had a heartfelt rant about the state of Formula 1 at Silverstone and Spa. It was Sky Sports F1 commentator Martin Brundle. His biggest quote was that he had a tear in his eye because we lost all the great corners at these 2 tracks. Martin Brundle said that F1 needs to get rid of this current concept of the F1 car as soon as possible. I can't say he's wrong here. We saw things at these 2 magnificent tracks that we've never seen before. Overtakes in weird places, cars slowing down to go faster elsewhere, super clipping, downshifting, and most of all, AI programs deciding the battery deployment. This last abomination isn't even legal, as drivers aren't allowed to get any aid. But besides that, there are drivers out there who drive their laps a little less consistently than others and find themselves without power in the strangest places, causing weird quali laps and downright dangerous situations. Oscar Piastri said, "It sucks when you've got qualifying grids decided by computers behaving or misbehaving. It's a pretty crap way of going racing." You can tell Piastri is fed up with it, and he's not alone. The 2 Spanish amigos, Alonso and Sainz, have attacked the regulations on several occasions as well. And so did world champion Lando Norris. He said 2026 Formula 1 regulations mean way too many things are out of drivers' control. It's a shame that there's so many things that can dictate your own pace in qualifying. It's not down to the driver. It's just down to hoping you get lucky that the power unit does what it should do and doesn't do something silly. Again, he's not wrong here, and it's definitely something that needs to change as quickly as possible. The V8 engines without batteries can come next season for all I'm concerned. Unfortunately, this might take until 2031. F1 regulations take forever and the organization is very sluggish. Maybe things could have changed quicker if Max Verstappen had full support from everyone at the start of the season, because many of the complainers here sang a completely different tune then. The first person I want to tear apart here is George Russell. This man was singing songs about the car and the regulations when he won in Australia, and he was over the moon to be cruising to his first title. Obviously, at the time, he didn't want to hear about any complaints about this rule set, as any change could have possibly taken away his advantage. Well, as it turns out, he and his team took the advantage away for him. Bad reliability and lack of pace set him back a good bit, And if it wasn't for Antonelli also suffering with problems on his car, the point deficit would have been even bigger. Russell did nothing in Britain and finished P2. Anyway, when Max Verstappen was complaining about the exact stuff everyone is complaining about now, Russell came out with a few quotes which are used against him now all over social media. During testing, Russell said that the driver should give the 2026 rules a chance, like the good boy that he is. In March, he said that die-hard F1 fans were starting to enjoy the 2026 rules, even though my timeline on Twitter and Threads was full of people not enjoying the yo-yo racing. I think at one press conference, Russell and Norris were sitting next to each other on the sofa, discussing the blatant criticism of the regs from Max Verstappen. They concluded that if Max didn't like the regs, he could just quit and enjoy the Nordschleife. Now, Norris has addressed this later and said it was just a joke. Lando started criticizing the rules very quickly after that as well. Another thing that was said by Russell was that Verstappen was complaining because he wasn't winning and that he wouldn't complain if he did. Another false statement, because Verstappen complained about the ground effect rules very often as well. He said that the nicest cars to drive were the ones in the V6 hybrid era, the era he started in until 2021. Russell is finding out the hard way that Verstappen was right. And if he's on social media, he will be reminded of it a lot. The reason he's not happy now is obviously because he's seeing that championship that he felt he was entitled to slip away from him. Another person who defended the rules was Martin Brundle. Remember the guy with the tear in his eye? Yeah. He said that Verstappen should either go or stop talking about it. He was getting bored with Verstappen expressing himself about it. Brundle is a very patriotic guy. Just like most of his colleagues at Sky, his views can be a little tribalistic. So these new F1 rules suck now because A, George isn't winning it, and B, Hamilton isn't winning it either at Ferrari. If this form continues, Leclerc will overtake Hamilton again. Martin Brundle does not like this, so now it's time to shit on the regs he defended not so long ago. His F1 TV fellow pundit and also former F1 driver Juan Pablo Montoya even said Verstappen should have gotten a race ban for all the negative things he said about F1. I hope he gets banned from F1 TV soon. I'm wearing out my mute button because I turn off the sound every time he speaks. What an idiot! Max Verstappen was pretty kind about Russell's situation after the race. He called F1 a bit of a jungle, and when asked about Russell, he said, "I don't know what George's issue was, obviously, but the thing I can say is that it happens." He spoke about the frustration of trying your best and then things in the background change constantly, which isn't very nice. Verstappen didn't really use this opportunity to showcase he was right. Other people like me do that for him. Anyway, I can rant on about this forever, but the truth of the matter is that I kind of had accepted the state F1 is in. And every race weekend I try to make the best out of it. I urge Max forward mentally. And I have other favourites on the grid who I'd like to see do well as well. And in the meantime, we just need to suck it up. There are changes coming for next season. Even bigger ones for the season after that. And maybe if FOM and FIA are sensible, they'll fast track the V8 engines so we're rid of this nonsense for the 2029 season. If there's a petition, I'll sign it. I hope you will sign up to be a subscriber. Or even better, a member for behind the scenes videos and early access. Thank you for watching this far. Take care now. Doei doei.